Welcome to WBTG-TV on air with B. This is Undiagnosed Baddie, your favorite daily 10-minute podcast. There's a lot of letters and a lot of words, y'all. I renamed the station. I renamed my YouTube channel WBTG, which stands for BellaThaGawd TV on air with B, who is me. Bella. So yes, y'all, make sure y'all navigate the entire channel. We have death education, we have mirror work, we have life less than lies, we have convo and co. The amount of of work that I'm putting out, the amount of videos that I'm putting out, is I think it's great that I have all of this on my channel already. So when people do find the channel, that they have something to come for and something to stay. Like it's binge worthy. It's something that you can do. Yeah, getting into today's topic. What's a habit people have that's healthy that really isn't? And so the first thing that I could think of was like detoxing and juicing. And it's like we detox and juice, but we already have organs for that, right? We have our liver and we have our kidney. And when you juice, it strips the fiber and spikes the blood sugar instead of letting your organs do that naturally. The human body is an amazing, intricate, functioning piece of matter. Okay. Everything that you need, the way we regenerate, if you get cut, the way you regenerate, your skin regenerates, and when you break a bone and you reset it, and it sets back into place, unless it's shattered. But the way our bones heal, you don't really need any outside extra to be healthy, to make your body function the way it's supposed to function. And that's why you do have to take care of your body so it can function how it's supposed to function. Does that make sense? So you don't necessarily have to juice to get your body to do the things, but you do have to stay hydrated, which are two different things. And I think people not even necessarily confuse the two, but lump them together as if they're both, it's a two for one, which is not true. Okay. So people think that they're like technically sweating out toxins, where sweat is mostly water and electrolytes, right? It's not a detox mechanism. So you can sweat, but it's not necessarily getting quote unquote the bad things out. That's why you can sweat, you can stay in a sauna, you can rep yourself out, you come out looking snatched, and you take a little bit of water, and now you're back to looking full again. And that is because the sweat is the water. It's dehydrating you, right? So, yeah, on to the next, right? Baby, this one is me. So, skipping meals to save calories for later. I do that. But I don't do it under the guise of, it's healthy. I do it like to control myself. I'm a eater. Not only am I an eater, I'm also a grazer. So it's like I had a gentleman cook for me not too long ago, and I didn't eat for most of the day. Like I had a slight breakfast, very slight breakfast, and then I didn't eat. And then I went to his house and I crushed the food, right? So it was like, okay, yeah. Um, like when you starve yourself, your body starts to not use the resources, right, that it has. It stores it. So when you're in a mode like that, like that's why when you're losing weight and you're in the gym all the time, you're supposed to eat all day long. So your body uses that fuel and is burning that fuel. Um, what else do I have on this list, baby? Multivitamins. And to me, multivitamins is some shit because you might not, first of all, it's so little of each one in it. It's like, what are we really doing? But I do want to say this real quick to promote health. Go get your labs done. Get your labs done. I'm going to say, as often as your insurance allows, number one. But when you really start noticing your body do different things, but I would say it should be sooner. So don't quote me on this, but I'm going to say every 7 years because that's when your body regenerates. Every 7 years, right? Your cells, all of that stuff, you get brand new cells, all of that. But definitely every 10 years because your 20s are different from your 30s, which are different from your 40s, which are absolutely different from your 50s, right? And I'm not going to speak anything like 60 and past, because by then, we should know after we've been in our body for 50 years really and paying attention what's really going on. But absolutely get your labs done. Don't be afraid to do the allergy testing. Don't be afraid to go get tested for anything like the trees and the seafood, to make sure that your body is not just inflamed or shutting down because it's rejecting something that we think is good that we don't know is necessarily an allergy, right? But that goes back to the multivitamins, and especially as a woman in her 40s, where we have perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, where like the vitamin D is dropping, where ferritin is low, where all of these levels, the hormones are fluctuating. It's very important that you go in, and a lot of black women specifically are vitamin D deficient. And so sometimes over the counter is not enough, and we need to go ahead and be seen by the doctor and get that taken care of, because where you have the little Flintstone multivitamin, and you're getting this little percentage of vitamin D, and you wondering why you can't get out to bed, and you wonder why you're sad, and you wonder why you're irritable, and it's because one thing in your body affects something else in your body, and it may not seem like it. So y'all make sure you go and do your blood work. If you don't have insurance, go to your state and get covered by the state. Get covered by the state. At this point, you've worked enough. Go get your Medicaid, do what you need to do so that you have some insurance and that you can take care of your body the way that you need to take care of your body. Research your doctors and, yeah, take care of your body. Let's get back to this list, okay? Also, while we're here, y'all tell me, instead of going along with what I'm saying, tell me some of the ways that you actually stay. What are your ways to stay healthy? What is a healthy habit that you've developed, or what is, because tell me something that you did in your 20s that you don't do in your 30s, that you've altered to do in your 40s, right? Like, so it's a lot. Just like I learned recently, like my feet are flat and my knees be sore. And I think that I used to think that the high impact would make it worse, where I need to jump rope to work those muscles and stuff, and to be able to not have feet that hurt in heels, to be able to not have achy knees. So that is actually something that you'll be seeing in the vlogs, because that also, like I said, helps you walk, excuse me, in high heels, right? So, something about where I kind of sort of said calorie counting earlier, the excessive calorie counting, when you're counting like macros and micros and stuff like that, it's not healthy to do stuff like that. Because then you can't enjoy life. You're so worried about what's in this and what's in that and how much is this and how much is that. Baby, all we have to do is get up and walk, right? So this is basically a public service announcement of be healthy, go to the doctor, do things like that. It's just, it's just so much that we already have on our plate. And what I want, really, I'm gonna put my phone down because I'm gonna go on a rant real quick. What I'm noticing, that I don't want to be the 50 and 60-year-old with a walker. I want to be the 99-year-old with a walker. I don't want to be the 50, 60, 70-year-old. Um, ugh, every time I move around, there's a noise, right? And I don't want to be that as I'm aging. And it's very important that we take care of our bodies, um, more than anything, like right now, especially with the administration that we have and every single recall that we're having in our foods. We just need to make sure that we're up and moving and can sustain in a healthy manner off of things that we can kind of sort of grow ourselves, right? So I know this is not the typical undiagnosed baddie, but it's something that needs to be talked about. And it needs to be talked about, how we're going to keep ourselves together for the remainder of the years that we have on earth, right? So I just want to say thank you to everybody for rocking with me this entire year. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you throw some kisses in the comments. We got this. Where we at? We got this right here. And I'll see you next time on Undiagnosed Baddie.